Have you ever felt terrified whenever you're in a crowd? Have you ever felt like a person could come out and harm you from this mass of people surrounding you? Every day, terrorism lies in wake in the midst of normalcy of everyday life. Terrorism impacts society in multiple ways, and those ways are negative and have dire consequences against society. Around the world, countries and governments are at war against these people who use these horrifying and immoral tactics in order to incite fear to those who oppose them. And these people, full of malintent, form into a group in order to pursue their evil plans. However, that is not the only reason why terrorism is so frightening. The prime reason in which terrorism is so scary is that it hides in the civilized population, waiting to strike. We as a society must learn how to identify terrorism before any acts of terror are committed. The best way to do it is to make sure everyone is aware that terrorism exists and is lurking behind the vision of everyday people. This is why the Jacob government has decided to issue out 4 posters to warn the general public about terrorism. Terrorism is evil and cannot be seen unless you look very carefully. The Jacob government has acknowledged this and gave us 4 posters to analyze. One of those posters are the See Something, Say Something poster. This poster reveals that terrorism is hiding and cannot be seen normally unless you pay very close attention toward the people around you and as well as the setting you're in. As you can see in this advertisement, there is an I and a phrase. Those are rhetorical devices that are needed to help the reader understand the advert. The reason why the advertisement uses the I for a rhetorical device is to ensure that it helps readers realize that terrorism can be seen with the naked eye. You just have to pay close enough attention. They say something at the end of the phrase, say something, see something, details on how people should report suspicious activity or suspicious persons in which they come into contact with. An extra to that is the Jacob government logo. The Jacob government logo is an appeal to ethos. Ethos is the appeal to credibility and trust. We trust the Jacob government to make laws and make other doctrines to help the civilians of their country out. And so, in the end, the public must learn that suspicious acts and suspicious persons must be observed and reported to the proper authorities. Moving on to the next piece of advertising. The See Something Suspicious, Tell Someone poster states that if someone were to see something suspicious, they will have to tell someone. In this poster, there are 4 normal sheep and 1 black sheep that is out of place, and the words are See Something Suspicious, Tell Someone in green. Symbolism is used in this poster and helps the reader understand that the black sheep is acting very differently and looks very differently from the other 4 sheep. This understanding of the black sheep being symbolic of standing out and acting different helps the reader understand that this person is suspicious and that they will have to tell the proper authorities. Added with that, people are more likely to trust this advertisement due to the Jacob government logo. Additionally, the green text on the black background hints that this text is standing out. It is of direct contrast to the black background, which is helpful for the reader to identify suspicious persons by looking out for what stands out from normal people. The devices, symbolism, ethos, and color theory were used in this poster to effectively inform the public audience. This poster reveals how terrorism can even be found at school under the guise of basic cleaning chemicals. The poster itself has a sentence: a chemical weapon won't be used to inflict terror to school because a student saw suspicious chemicals and reported it. Only you can stop terrorism. Added with a red background to these words, this advertisement has an urgent feeling to it because the appearance of the color red. Red is very important because it suggests a primal and aggressive feeling whenever viewed. The Jacob Government logo also reveals that this is ethos, making sure people trust this advertisement even further. And the unexpected chemicals and terrorist attack at a school also targets pathos. And pathos is part of the rhetorical triangle, which is ethos, pathos, and logos. Pathos is the appeal to feelings. Since the schools are filled with people who are wanting to learn and who are young and uneducated, for a terrorist to go and harm these people and rob them of their future is something that's just not right. This poster had many rhetorical devices, these devices being color theory, ethos, and pathos, increasing the effectiveness of this poster. This Uncle Sam poster is detailing how the general public and the people who are looking to be in the military should enlist and help fight terrorism. The poster shows the government, the Jacob Government logo, and as well as the Uncle Sam picture. Under Uncle Sam are the words, "Only you can stop terrorism." Looking back, the words "only you can stop terrorism" is a rhetorical device that helps to persuade the reader by appealing to their emotion, by making them feel powerful because Uncle Sam has chosen them and them only to fight against terrorism. The Jacob Government logo also provides an appeal to authority, since the government wants them to join in on the fight against terrorism as well. In the end, these are people who are ready to fight terrorism, and we need them in order to combat the rise of terrorism. Terrorism can hide, terrorism can go right under our noses, terrorism can lurk in even places we don't expect them to be. But in the end, the people will find the slippery folk and enact justice. And these posters are needed to remind people, all people, even babies and adults, that terrorism lurks everywhere. And we must remember to look for them. These posters utilize rhetorical devices so we can understand easier and have more time to look for terrorism. We must keep pace, steel ourselves, and be vigilant at all times, so we can look out for our future generations. Maybe in the end, terrorism can disappear after we have enacted our right justice, but even then, who knows? Maybe the man that approached you in that crowd was a terrorist, or maybe he was a stranger in need of actual help. We must remain vigilant.